Mikel Arteta wants new forwards, Arsenal are advancing, and today we have a massive update as we discuss a breaking development in the pursuit of Mykhailo Mudryk. We'll also find out what player Arsenal are targeting from Barcelona, get to know which team is trying to sign following Balogun, and find out why Arsenal have been charged by the FA. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. Arsenal are making moves in the transfer market, things are getting interesting. So as per, don't forget to smash a like if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 150,000 subscribers. But let's get straight into the breaking Arsenal transfer news. Barcelona are in financial crisis. They need to sell players as soon as possible, and Arsenal have been linked with quite a few. Ferran Torres, Memphis Depay, but Arsenal are also looking at centre backs, someone to back up Gabriel Magalhaes, and that's where you have former Man City player Eric Garcia. As according to reports in Spain, Mikel Arteta wants to sign Garcia either on loan or a permanent transfer. 22 years of age, a Spanish international, and a player that excels on the ball, completing 93% of his passes, 77 per game. His ball playing ability is up there with the best. He's a player that Mikel Arteta has worked with during his time at Man City, so he knows him pretty well. But in terms of dominance, you think about Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba, not just fantastic on the ball, but these guys are powerhouses, able to bully their forwards. In terms of Eric Garcia, he is not of that similar frame, and physically he's nowhere near as imposing, and despite being versatile, able to play as a right back as well as centre back, he's right footed. And with Gabriel Magalhaes being left footed, and that being the area where Arsenal need to invest, I don't believe Eric Garcia is that guy. Moving on to Arsenal loanee following Balogun, thriving in Liga with Reims, with 10 Liga goals in 17 appearances, the joint 4th top goal scorer in Liga, only a few goals behind the likes of Neymar and Mbappe. Balogun has been on fire and he has been integral for Reims, and he has scored 50% of their goals this season, with no player in Liga having contributed to a higher percentage of his team's goals. Now what makes Balogun so special is that he's still 21 years of age. He's under a long-term Arsenal contract and has a very bright future. But at Arsenal we have Gabriel Jesus and we have Eddie Nketiah. So if Balogun wants to be an Arsenal starter, he will have a fight on his hands. But he has caught the eyes of some of the best clubs in Europe, and according to reports in Italy, both Inter and AC Milan are trying to sign Balogun. This is Balogun's first year of playing top elite division football, to be in double figures in the first half of the season. He's also slightly overperforming in terms of expected goals, and that's a sign of a clinical striker. And as the reports in Italy clear, Arsenal would demand at least £35 million for Balogun. It's great to see that teams have interest, but Balogun for me has a future at Arsenal. There's a reason why he has signed a contract under Mikel Arteta. But comment down below if you believe Balogun should be involved with the Arsenal first team next season. But on the topic of Arsenal loanees in Liga, you've got Nicolas Pepe at Nice, who has scored 8 goals in 16 appearances, and he was at it once again as he scored 2 goals, one assisted by former Arsenal player Aaron Ramsey, as Nice beat Montpellier 6-1. Pepe's return to Liga has been decent. He's shown signs of old form, he's been a consistent goal scorer starting most of their games, and he is showing signs of being a decent wide forward. But he is not in the long-term plans of Mikel Arteta. He is not the profile the Arsenal manager is looking for, and this summer he will have 1 year left on his contract. Arsenal will be looking to sell, and this decent turn of form will give Arsenal fantastic leverage in terms of getting the most amount of money for their player. But now let's talk about incoming wide forwards. Arsenal had been trying to sign João Felix, but out of nowhere in came Chelsea, and they have now confirmed his arrival. A loan transfer until the end of the season, no option to buy, and Felix has already made his Chelsea debut. Starting against Fulham, his dribbling was fantastic and he showed some very impressive signs, but then in the 58th minute, things took a twist as he was sent off on his debut. An awful challenge, and he will now serve a 3-game suspension, out until February the 11th, and over that time Chelsea will still have to pay £1.2 million. To be spending that sort of money and not have the option to sign the player at the end of the season, it's exactly why Arsenal have stayed away. Instead, they've put all their focus in Mykhailo Mudryk, and Shakhtar have confirmed that he is back in full training, joining up with the Shakhtar team in Turkey for their training camp. But as we have seen time and time again in this window, Mykhailo Mudryk and his Instagram story is the place to be, and he is at it once again, dropping yet another hint, this time a photo of him watching a transfer video, pausing it in the exact moment of him wearing an Arsenal shirt. Watching the Arsenal games, posting photos in Arsenal shirts, how much more clear and obvious has it ever been? It's no surprise to hear from Fabrizio Romano that Mudryk is obsessed with Arsenal, and I have never been so convinced about a player wanting to move to a club. But this is not about the player's desire, this is about Arsenal and Shakhtar and their hefty price tag of €100 million. The head coach of the national team has spoken, saying, "I think the issue will be resolved at the end of January, and for the amount that Arsenal wants. The price price will be quite decent, but far from what Shakhtar wants. There is no chance no one will ever pay 100 million euros. And as he says, there is no need to draw a parallel from Antony. He played so much for Ajax and proved himself there. Mudryk is not yet a well-known footballer. He is a dark horse for Europe, who shot this season in the Champions League. This is someone that manages Mudryk that has seen him work in training, and even he's able to understand that Shakhtar are asking for way too much. Mudryk has not even made over 50 league appearances. He's still very much unproven at the highest level, but there's a reason why Shakhtar want so much money. As Miguel Delaney explains, Shakhtar's insistence of their asking price for Mudryk is due to how much money they lost in potential sales after FIFA ruled the foreign players could leave on a free transfer following Russia's invasion of the country. Shakhtar have lost a lot of their important players for peanuts over the past few years. So when you then have their crown jewel, a player that is seen as the future of Ukrainian football, they want as much as they possibly can. And Arsenal have made two very decent offers, but with those not being successful, Arsenal have acted once again. As a Fabrizio Romano exclusive confirms, Arsenal have submitted a new third offer to sign Mykhailo Mudryk in the last few hours. Parties are now getting closer, despite there being no breakthrough. Talks are ongoing with Shakhtar, and Arsenal are still leading the race with no official bid from Chelsea. A third offer has been made, and this one is a big one. And according to Fabrizio Romano, it's worth a base fee of 70 million euros plus add-ons. And now negotiations are ongoing with Shakhtar to discuss the add-on package, and there is no issue in personal terms because Mudryk wants to move. Arsenal are not playing about here. Their first offer was a base fee of around 40 to 45 million pounds. The new offer is a base fee of around 62, and then you have the add-ons, which will make it even more expensive. This is a massive financial commitment. We have not seen Arsenal be this persistent over a player in the market, and this would make Mudryk the most expensive player under Mikel Arteta. The offer is gargantuan, and Mikel Arteta has to be convinced that Mudryk is going to be a superstar, and for this level of investment he has to be seen as a level raiser, a player that will push our title charge this season. And it is a lot of pressure and a lot of money, but it seems like Arsenal are convinced, and Mudryk is at it once again on the Instagram stories, this time posting a praying emoji directly after the report of the third official offer. It's almost a public plea to Shakhtar to let him go to Arsenal, and with Arsenal making a third and substantial offer and negotiations being on add-ons and not the base fee, it seems like the climax is around the corner, and it is now all in the hands of Shakhtar. And in the boys' personal opinion, I believe an agreement is around the corner. But if and when Arsenal are able to sign Mykhailo Mudryk, what do they have planned next? Well, according to the Ars blog, I've been told that Arsenal might have sent a few messages when it comes to central midfield, and there's no guarantees there, but let's see what happens as the month progresses. Now, Arsenal's initial plan was to sign two forwards. It was Mykhailo Mudryk plus João Felix, but now that he's gone to Chelsea, there is not that many other opportunities like Felix on the market. The only options that really stand out is Memphis Depay at Barcelona, who's out of contract at the end of the season and could be available for around £9 million. Just like Felix is able to play on the left hand side and centre forward, but I'm not quite sure Arsenal want to sign him. Instead, it's about the midfield. And in terms of number 6s, it looks like one of their main targets in Danilo Oliveira is going to Nottingham Forest, but I believe Arsenal have a different and bigger target in the area that isn't available right now but will be in the summer. Instead, I think Arsenal are focusing on a more attack-minded midfielder, and the likes of Sergei Milinkovic-Savic and Yuri Tielemans could be players on Arsenal's radar. But comment down below if and when Arsenal do sign Mykhailo Mudryk, what other positions do you think Arsenal need to strengthen? Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with the FA charging Arsenal once again, as they say Arsenal have been charged with breaching FA Rule E21 during its tie against Oxford United in the FA Cup. It's alleged the Arsenal failed to ensure its players conducted themselves in orderly fashion during the 34th minute, and the club has until Monday the 16th of January to respond. For the second time in a space of a week, Arsenal have breached the exact same rule. The Arsenal players surrounded the referee as they believe they deserved the penalty, and against Newcastle maybe the Arsenal players did go a little bit over the top and Mikel Arteta went berserk, but this one for me is a bit of a disgrace. The Arsenal players were simply appealing for a penalty, which should have been, by the way, and they did not go over the top. We see this in so many times get brushed to one side, but when it comes to Arsenal, it's different rules, and this is exactly why Mikel Arteta is so animated. The Arsenal players now have the idea that the FA and the referees are against them, and that is why they are questioning every single decision. And some people might see it as over the top, but most of the elite teams do this. Even the most successful Arsenal teams of all time had the likes of Martin Keown, Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira surrounding the referees, demanding decisions go their way, and we've even seen it with the likes of Man United, where Sir Alex Ferguson would almost referee the games himself from the sidelines. And he is trying to build a mentality where these Arsenal players go onto the pitch and it's no more of being Mr. Nice Guy. And on the topic of Mikel Arteta, Takehiro Tomiyasu has been speaking. Says Arteta enjoys emphasizing unity. In order to have a good match, we ask the players to cheer for each other, and even if they make a mistake, they must be positive and take action to combat the fault. After my debut, he asked me if I enjoyed the game. Mykhailo is building a team not just of players that can be winners, but also are able to learn, able to give themselves constructive criticism, is what they need to become a top team, to remove the chinks of their armour, especially when you're competing against an elite team like Man City, who have got so many winners and so much experience. If Arsenal are going to go head to head and toe to toe, not just this season but for years to come, it's all about learning, self-improvement and evolving. And talking of evolutions, let's talk the Emirates Stadium, as Arsenal have revealed their brand new stadium artwork, and this is beautiful. From a throwback to Highbury to the Invincibles, to the 1886, to welcome to North London, home of the Arsenal, and the we all follow the Arsenal. I love the fact that Arsenal have recognised the international Arsenal fans. Arsenal are massive locally, but around the world we are gargantuan, and there are so many fans around the world that might have not been to the Emirates Stadium, but they are just as passionate and just as big fans. And I love the fact that Arsenal are giving them recognition, but also in terms of the heritage, the exterior design of Highbury, the Invincibles. Not only is it great to reminisce, but also for the younger fans that are upcoming, for them to learn about our past and our history and what has made us such a special football club. Personally, I think Arsenal have hit the nail on the head, and these brand new designs around the Emirates Stadium signifies a club that is on the up. The Emirates is bouncing, it's louder than ever, and now it's going to look even more beautiful. Now let's move on to the Arsenal chief executive Vinay Venkatesan, who says that this season for us is about progress. It's about moving the club forwards. We want to get back into the Champions League, competing in the biggest competition that exists, and there is positivity around the club because we feel we're heading in the right direction. Also saying that we've got a long way to go to achieve what we want to achieve. We are at the start of that journey. No one is getting carried away, and no one is here getting above their station. Four is amazing, and returning to the Champions League is a priority. But with Arsenal being 5 points clear, nearly halfway through a season, some Arsenal fans want to hear a bit more ambition, but we have to understand that this current Arsenal set of players and manager are in a position that they have not been in before as a squad, and the best approach we can take is take it game by game, little step by little step, to not look too far into the future and simply focus on our next game, which is of course Spurs away, a gargantuan game. But in terms of the overall ambitions of this season, having seen how Arsenal performed so far and the potential signing of maybe a Mykhailo Mudryk, do you believe the Arsenal ambitions have changed? Is it simply about Champions League football, or do you seriously believe from the bottom of your heart that Arsenal should go out there and focus fully on winning the Premier League title? But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was today's episode of the Transfers FC, and Arsenal have made a third offer for Mykhailo Mudryk. Things are happening. Will Shakhtar accept? Stay tuned, let's find out, and I will see you next time. Take care, in a bit.